Bada bing, bada boo.
You don't get into Shanghai Tech University unless you're really, really smart. It's one of the top universities in China for tech and science. It's actually said that a lot of the students there, they learned how to code before they could even legally drive. And maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but you've got some of the brightest students all shoved together in one very modern campus. Glass buildings with these very interesting shapes with sharp edges. And then they have these like green patches of grass in between the glass buildings in the middle of the city. It's almost like too green to belong near all these futuristic buildings. So there is this feeling of artificial intelligence to everything, if you will. But nonetheless, it's a stunning campus. I mean, not that the students really get to enjoy it. They're usually like machines. They will walk through the campus from one lecture to the other, constantly yawning, constantly grabbing another coffee until this cycle breaks. February 21, 2023, 1:48 p.m. Something very weird happens. It's in the building of School Life and Science and Technology. Students are basically hunched over their desks, just itching their scalps, trying to absorb all the information about epigenetics, stem cell biology, regenerative medicine, and RNA biology for all of their classes when they hear this scream. The scream is ear-piercing. It makes the students all want to instinctively turn their head to their side and like push their ear into their shoulder. It's the type of scream that stings your ear. Like if you were to hear your friend scream this, you would want to cover your ear. But the second that the scream is over, all the students, they get up, they leave their things at their desk, they just start booking it down the hallway because it's happening again. This was the 7th time in the past 5 days. There's a group of professors and students already gathered around this electrical box. It's similar to a box that's bolted onto a wall with some electrical wires and buttons inside. They're just gathered around the door, just staring at it. They hear a thump. What was that? And then another thump. And it's coming from inside the electrical box, and then a thump, and then a thump, and then another thump. And it felt like something is starting to shake inside the box, like it's rattling, trying to get out. If you were to put your phone on vibrate and throw it into a metal box, it sounds like that. And then it stops. Silence. One of the students reaches out their hand, and it's shaky, and they reach for the handle, and they slowly click, unlatch the lock, pull the door open, and inside is a tiny little cat. Curled up, body is contorted to fit the small space of the electrical box. There's vomit everywhere. The cat has been poisoned. The students glance around at each other because everybody is suspicious. Whoever was in this building is a suspect. And you know, the first poisoned cat that they found on campus last week, some students, they tried to reason with themselves. Maybe so that they can sleep better at night. Well, maybe the stray cat got into some of the chemicals or drugs in the school's labs. It's not impossible, right? That's the only thing that makes sense. But 7 cats in 5 days? One cat was found in the basement level of Building L, convulsing, vomiting, and bloodied. Cause of death? Poisoning. There were some slight impact wounds on the cat's side, meaning they could have likely been thrown out into the hallway from one of the rooms in the basement level. Another cat was found near the stairs of a science building. The cat was trying to walk up the stairs bloodied. There was dried yellow vomit all over the cat. The cat's hind legs were visibly shaking, and the cat tried to climb the stairs 3 separate times until it fell all the way down and passed. Cause of death? Poisoning. A few other cats were found dead in trash cans outside other buildings on campus. Again, cause of death, poisoning. Another cat was found near the main gates of the school. Another cat in the labs of Building Y. All cause of death? Poisoning. I mean, you could maybe explain away the death of 1 cat in 5 days, but 7 cats in 5 days, all poisoned? It doesn't make any sense. And here's what the students argue. Some of them didn't even just show signs of being poisoned. One of them had bright red ligature marks around the neck, indicative of strangulation, excessive bleeding, blunt force trauma wounds to the head, but also drag marks. Bloodied drag marks were left near the cat. The cat was dragged before it died. There was a trail of blood. You tell me, what do you think happened? Does that sound like something that would naturally happen to a stray cat? I mean, what kind of animal would even create those types of injuries on a stray cat in the middle of the city of Shanghai? It's not like a stray cat on the mountainside.
Inside of a campus too?
Yes. And the students, they're all on edge at this point. I mean, fine, the first cat was maybe poisoned. I could maybe reasonably understand that. But you have to tell me, what happened to the cat that was strangled? Give me an innocent explanation. Not a single person could come up with one. Some of the students, they got access to the CCTV cameras in those exact buildings to see if they could find out whoever it was that was last in that spot, or at least maybe they could see something suspicious. They did not just find someone acting suspicious. They found someone staring straight at them into the camera with a cat in their hands. February 16th, 2023, 10:30 a.m. Near the Student Innovation Center, there's a female student with long black hair walking alone. She's got this drawstring backpack that she's carrying with both of her hands. She walks towards a staircase. She stops at the bottom steps, looks around, puts the bag down, and puts on gloves. Then she sits at the bottom step, and the student's back is to the camera, and their body is covering the bag. So it's unclear what she's doing, but she's sitting elbows deep inside of her own bag for minutes. Then she gets up, turns around, looks directly into the CCTV camera. She's not even looking in the general direction. She's looking directly into the camera, making direct eye contact.
Is her face covered?
No. She lifts up a tiny cat with both of her hands. The cat's name is Princess. The stray cat had been named by the students. She holds up Princess with both of her hands up into the air like she's doing the Lion King pose. And she just starts strangling Princess with both hands in the air right in front of the CCTV camera. Princess wakes up, tries to struggle, but she's already in a weak state. She can't fight back hard enough. The strangulation went on until Princess's body went limp.
Oh my God.
She stopped trying to fight back. The girl then takes Princess and then disappears out of the camera view for a few minutes. We have no idea what happened in those few minutes. But eventually, she comes back into frame. Her gray-blue nylon drawstring bag is stuffed again, and she slowly walks up the stairs towards the School of Creativity and Art. And as she's walking up the stairs, she's making eye contact with the CCTV camera, never breaking her gaze, just staring. Her face has zero expression, nothing, emotionless. This is Shanghai Tech University's very own cat killer. Let's dive into the world of what has been dubbed the nth rooms, but for cats, and the dark world of cat crushing videos and the case behind the very, very viral video, very real video that led to the doxing of some of China's top celebrities, the cat blender video, and how a famous food influencer was exposed for running one of the more elaborate cat torture Telegram chat rooms. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support Paws. Paws is a champion for animals. They help rehabilitate injured and orphaned wildlife. They shelter and adopt homeless cats and dogs, and they help educate people to make a better world for both animals and for people. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team of dedicated researchers and translators. We would also like to thank you guys, our listeners, for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates of these causes. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. Today's video is going to be incredibly graphic with strong themes of animal cruelty and torture. There will be no pictures or videos included in this video version of the episode that depicts any sort of abuse. For the YouTube version, it's going to be a lot more toned down. If you want the uncensored descriptions of me telling you what happened in the video, I'm not putting the video up or posting it anywhere. You can find the uncensored video version of this episode on Spotify at Rotten Mango Video. But if you just want the audio, it's available uncensored on all podcast platforms. Now for YouTube, it's going to be a lot more toned down. But if you are interested in the show notes, please proceed with caution, as most of them do contain incredibly graphic visuals. Many of them do not have warnings. They are not censored at all. And if they are blurred, it really doesn't hide any of the blood or the gore. So please be careful. I will always also try to give you a small warning before things get too descriptive. I mean, there will be constant mentions of some of the acts, but when they get very descriptive and specific. I will give you a quick warning and you can skip ahead a bit. But if you're just not in the best headspace to listen to this, or if you have a cat and you know that this episode is going to be way too hard for you, please go take it easy. Take care of yourself. We will see you in the next one. We also really debated toning down a lot of the details for today's case, which I think to agree we still did, just because of how insanely graphic these videos are. But because this is an ongoing case with perpetrators that are out, free, and living their best lives, we actually thought it would be best to give you the truth of what's going on out there, so that if more people just know how bad it is, maybe more people will want to do something about it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we are not investigative journalists, nor are we part of the animal activist groups that have freely volunteered their time, energy, and emotions to help track down some of these perpetrators. Everything in this video was researched online with the assistance from professional Chinese translators. But one great resource provided by volunteer activists is a website called Feline Guardians Without Borders. I do warn you that there are graphic images on their website, but I think it's a great launch pad to get started on understanding what's going on, who's involved, and figuring out how you can best help. We will also not be mentioning any volunteers who infiltrated the chat groups by name, because many of the activists involved in today's case found themselves threatened, doxed, or had bounties put on their own pets. So for their safety, we will be using aliases. But as always with any and all cases, but especially the international ones, please let us know in the comments if anything at all was miscommunicated, lost in translation, or if there's any additional information you might have. Also, another quick note, there have been no court or legal charges and sentences, and just the nature of this case, the research process was a lot heavier on social media rather than by official documents. And since nobody has been convicted of a crime, anything and everything is speculatory and alleged. Again, this case is very, very graphic, so please take care of yourself, go hug your pets, and with that being said, let's get into it. There's a city in China called Suzhou. It's about an hour from Shanghai. And this man arrives at the shopping mall. He's texting on his phone, looking around to see if he sees anyone with a cat carrier, like one of those bags that you put cats in. He's getting ready to meet the kitten that he's planning on adopting. And it's kind of goofy, but he's so nervous. He put a lot of effort into studying what kind of kitten would be the best fit for him and his lifestyle. He spent a lot of time and energy just going online and looking for all the things that he would need to buy for the kitten. And how is the kitten going to respond to him? He's nervous. He's checking his phone nonstop the minute that he gets to the mall, and it's almost time. The owner is going to show up, and he would finally get to meet his new kitten. He starts walking around the area of the mall that they agreed to meet at, but he doesn't see anyone. Nobody with a pet carrier. Strange. So he decides, okay, maybe I'm just going to stand here, browse on my phone, and wait. Maybe they're stuck in traffic. But as he's standing there, he feels someone lock their arm into his. Like how couples would walk arm in arm. You interlock your arms. Then another arm locks around his other side. He looks to his left, he looks to his right, and there are two girls standing next to him, just locked on his arms. Just imagine two strange women coming up to you and holding your hands. That's like the equivalent of this.
He doesn't know them,
no,
obviously.
No. He briefly has a moment where he wants to panic, but they look pleasant. They don't look like they're trying to mug him or intimidate him in any sort of the sense. It was just kind of odd. I mean, the woman on his right is wearing this light pink holographic puffer jacket and bright purple pants. I would say that there's not an intimidating bone in her body. The other one is wearing all black and she's got her hair tied in this sleek ponytail. And they just start pulling him towards the exit of the mall. I'm not sure what exact words were exchanged, but he doesn't try to leave. He just follows them all the way to the parking lot of the mall.
This was on camera or?
Yeah, this was on camera and it's about to be on camera some more.
Okay.
Just wait. So they get to the parking lot, but the parking lot is unfinished. There's nobody there because you can't even park your car there. It's still under construction and there's not a bunch of construction crew there right now. So it's kind of like a construction zone. He walks deeper into the creepy parking lot with these two women who are guiding him, and he sees another group almost waiting for him. They're just standing in the parking lot, looking in their direction. 4 people standing there. None of them had a pet carrier. What the hell is going on? Immediately, he starts trying to read the situation. One of the guys has a camera pointed directly at him, and he's announcing to everyone around him what's going on. He's walking right now. He's walking towards us. Why is he narrating the situation? He's not. He's talking to an audience. through the phone. He's live streaming this. They guide him deeper into the parking lot for whatever reason, whether he felt like there was no escape, that he can't run fast enough before they grab his hood and slam him on the ground. I don't know, whether they threaten him, whether it's he just wants to see what they're about to do. I have no clue, but he ends up following them. The girl in the pink puffer jacket grabs his arm and forces him to slap himself across the face. Imagine grabbing someone's elbow and then just whipping their arm towards their face.
Okay.
And the man is live streaming all of this. The man is there to adopt a kitten, but now he's slapping himself. He's forced to slap himself on the face over and over again, and he just goes along with it. His hand is limp, and his slaps are even more pathetic because it's just... his hand is just wafting around. It was a very degrading scene.
And he knows that he's being live streamed too.
Yes, and he's not saying anything. The woman in the pink puffer jacket just keeps forcing him to slap himself over and over again while she makes him repeat after her. Say it. I'm not human. I'm not human. Slap. I'm an animal. Say it. I'm a slap. No, say you're worse than an animal. I'm worse than an animal. Slap.
我不是人，我不是人，我不是人，我不是，我不是，我是个畜生，我是个畜生，我连畜生。你连畜生。
The man's cheek is burning up. And then the woman, like a school bully, turns to him and taunts him. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? I'm not hitting you. Why are you hitting yourself? See everyone? He's hitting himself. The live stream cuts off and restarts with the same group, but this time in a new location. So they've moved him out of the mall parking lot, and this area looks a lot more secluded. They force this man, who is, again, just there to adopt a kitten. They force him onto his knees, and he's begging now. Please stop. Please let me just sit up. Please stop doing this to me.
哦，求你了，各位，真的不要这样子。
The group refuses to stop. They keep the live stream rolling. It's now time for their grand finale. One of the group members takes a step back, puts on a glove. They open a brown paper bag and start twisting their hand inside the bag. It looks like they're unscrewing something. That's how much they're twisting, just twisting inside that bag. And then they pull out their hand. Their glove is covered in a brown sticky substance. Feces.
Whoa.
Warm feces. The other members of the group hold the man still and they smear feces all over his face, all over, chunks of feces all in his hair. His nostrils are coated with a chunky layer. He's holding his lips and his eyes as tightly closed as possible, but there's no way. There's no way that not even a little bit didn't get in. The live stream chat is going crazy. The comments are flooding in. Everyone's trying to guess. What kind of poop is it? You think it's human? No, it's probably like baby diaper shit. Or what about cow shit? No, dog poop for sure. Cat poop? No, cat poop has the litter box flecks in them. You know what I'm talking about? No? Isn't that what it looks like? People are analyzing the color, the amount, the consistency to pinpoint what kind of poop this was. But like, are those really the questions to be asking right now? This man came to the mall to adopt a kitten. He was ambushed, publicly humiliated, assaulted, degraded, live streamed with excrement shoved all over his face like a facial. Is what type of feces really the question to be asking right now? Yeah, yes it is. Because everyone knew that he got exactly what he deserved. This man was part of an animal snuff film gang that would catch, torture, and kill kittens for views on Telegram. This guy was particularly known for boiling cats alive.
No way.
He came to adopt a kitten for the sole purpose of wanting to kill it as slowly and as painfully as possible. And the 6 people live streaming, animal activists who had enough. They had tracked him down, they had been watching him, and now they had publicly exposed this man. There's a red velvet cake that's just sitting on the kitchen counter. And the red dye is typically a pain in the ass to clean up. But it does look the best visually on camera, that is. Besides, at least at the time, there's no candles involved because candles usually just get in the way. It's a whole thing. And the frosting on top is perfect. It's got a name written across the smooth, icy surface of the cake. There's cute little ribbons of icing all around it. They're gonna love it. But she has to move quickly because her cat's gonna ruin it all. She's already set up the tarp on her living room couch. She just goes and adjusts the camera on the tripod and she clicks record. She walks into the frame, unclothes, takes off her clothes. Then she positions herself so that she's hovering over the cake, like she's about to sit down on the couch. And she knows that the first one is the most important. And she slowly, almost painfully slowly, moves centimeter by centimeter until she's fully sitting on the cake. It has been squashed under her bottom. It's smeared all over her. And then she repeats the process. She lifts her bottom up and then smashes it back down onto the cake in her living room. She's going to do this for a whole 5 minutes because that's what her client paid for. It's a custom cake sitting video. If her clients pay enough, they can even pick the size and the type of cake, the frosting colors, whether or not they want their name on the cake. They can even choose what level of unclothed she is for the video. She didn't even know that there was a market for this type of stuff. But clearly there was. You know, cake sitting has become really popular. It's almost its own subcategory of intimate interests, if you will. But some people think that it actually falls under a bigger category. Well, it's a debate. A lot of people think that it falls under the wet and messy interest, which are people who are intimately intrigued by the sensations of things that are wet or messy on skin. They also like to see their partner or the object of their interest get very messy. So covered in shaving cream would be an example. Yes.
Okay.
But some categorize it under a different niche. Object crush. She knew this because every now and then she would get a request for her to sit and crush on different things. Fruit. Sometimes it was a beetle. And then sometimes it was a cat. There were clients willing to pay top dollar for her to crush a cat with her bottom. She had no idea if these clients are joking or not.
Like sitting on a cat?
Yeah. I mean, regardless, she would never even consider it. It's not even what object crush interests are about. She Googled it. Object crush is when people like seeing objects being crushed. There's a group of people out there that are intimately sexually interested in the visuals of seeing objects being crushed. Typically by a woman, whether she uses a body part or usually her high heel stiletto point. I guess it really depends on the viewer. The best way that I can try and relate to the interest perhaps is, there is a certain satisfaction of seeing things being pressed down. You know those hydraulic press videos that do so well on social media and TikTok? I wonder if it's something like that. But when you say the words object crush, it typically refers to if the viewer is watching it for sexual satisfaction. Not just, oh, that's fascinating. That's satisfying to see. It's a more intimate feeling.
Okay. So there is a genre of that, or is this considered a kink? Or?
Yes, it's considered a kink. They just like to see inanimate objects be squished for intimate satisfaction. So they like watching balloons being sat on and popped. A lot of the times it could be food or toys. Car toys is a big one for some reason. Fruit, and I say for some reason not because I'm trying to poke fun at it. I'm just saying I'm not sure the reason why specifically. Fruit, they really like watching fruit being punctured and pierced, essentially stomped on by a high heel. Now, there might be a lot of different personal reasons why someone might enjoy watching these types of videos, but just surface level, a lot of psychiatrists think that the stimuli, the sound and the visual sensation of heels puncturing something, and the fact that it's a heel, a symbolism of female dominance to a lot of people, and to see it crushing and squishing something is really stimulating. Some people think that it's also a mixture of just the sheer unconventional nature mixed with the woman. Feels taboo, it feels arousing because typically it is a woman squashing it. I did go down a lot of intimate websites and I don't even think I came across one video of a man squashing something. One person stated, it's like going back into childhood where you can squash toys and just have fun. It just feels, like there's no worries or concerns. And I think that's the most satisfying part. Something to note, there is a niche interest where a person is stepped on, crushed, or trampled on by another person. Usually not to the point of causing injury or death, but there have been some circumstances where people do like the sensation of being crushed. There was a case of a man in Florida who died because he wanted to crush himself with his own car. I guess they really like the physical discomfort, and that is, interestingly enough, not a category of this interest. That is a whole separate interest called trampling, which is human to human crushing, I guess. That is not what we're going to get into today, but just to clarify in case of any of you guys were wondering, that's a different interest. I think it's a very interesting thing to be attracted to. And I say interesting because it's just not something that I come across frequently. But if it's between two consenting adults and everybody knows what's going on, nobody's getting hurt except maybe an apple here and there, I don't think that there's a problem with it. Who am I to tell people what to be into? So maybe that's what everyone thought. When a woman from China uploads a video onto a crush website, maybe someone thought, oh, okay, a simple object crush video. An apple meets a high heel. Click. The video starts playing. It looks like it's being filmed near a lake, near some sort of body of water. The sun is shining. It's bright, clear skies. There's a river embankment on the back. That's what it looks like. And a woman is the focal point of the video. She's Chinese. Her black hair comes to her shoulders. She's got bangs. She's pretty. She's dressed in this leopard print halter tube top. And at the bottom, she's wearing this black pencil skirt that's really tight with a slit in the front that goes right up the middle. But the camera is trying to focus mainly on her shoes. Her shoes seem like the main event. If I didn't know any better, I would potentially think that this is a foot fetish video. She's got these bright silver strappy heels on. Her toes are fully out and exposed. They're out and about. There's like a singular silver strap holding her toes in place. And then there's a strap around her ankle. In the sun, the shoe is glimmering, it's shimmering, it's almost like that holographic material. And she starts moving her feet back and forth like she's trying to sell you a pair of these heels. She's showing you all of the angles of her feet.
So the camera is like zoom in on her feet.
Yeah.
Does it show her face?
Oh yeah, it shows everything.
Oh, okay.
So it shows her face, her whole body. It's scanning up and down. Then it's zooming in on her feet. It's not the tallest heel. It's not the sexiest heel, I would say. It's not the tallest stiletto. It's maybe about 3.5 inches tall, but it's got a stiletto point. So that means it's not a tapered wedge. It's not a platform shoe. It's got a point. And she's standing there, smiling. And after about 2 to 3 minutes, she places something on the ground. She's standing right next to it, and the cameraman is zooming in. Using the front and the back of her shoe, she's rubbing the floor, and she's rubbing the object that she's placed on the ground. And then, so very suddenly, she slams the heel down, warning, and she has pierced her entire stiletto through a tiny kitten's body on the ground. And she will repeat this process through the stomach, mouth, and eye of the kitten. And then she will continue until the kitten has passed. It is a 20-minute clip.
It was posted where? Like,
It was for sale. We're going to get into that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot. When I first heard about this video that was circulating on the internet, I actually heard about this before I started getting into the research for this case. For some reason, I always thought it was one of those urban legends. I thought it was a fake video that was either staged or something that people talk about, but nobody has ever seen because it's likely not real. It likely does not exist. Nobody has come across this type of video. They just took stills from a separate video and reposted them with this insane backstory, But no, this video is very real. This is very much true. And this is the world of hard crushing videos or even cat torture chat rooms. So previously with the cake crushing, we said that some people would categorize it in the world of object crushing. You just have someone sitting on an inanimate object or sometimes on cakes or fruit. But some people, they don't just stop with bananas or red velvet cakes. Some people want to see insects, snails, cockroaches, sometimes fish, ladybugs, earthworms, clams, crawfish is a big one, even octopuses alive being squished under the strong, spiky heel of a beautiful woman's stiletto. That is what's called soft crush interest. Soft crush videos are illegal. I want to say that they're technically illegal in the US, but you can find them pretty easily if you just get past a paywall. Not that I was looking for them, but
So
from what I can find.
stepping on these type of animals is called soft crush, and it's available.
Yes. So alive crabs, lobsters, crawfish, worms are a big one. Some people categorize fish. It's a debate if fish fall into this category or the next category. And this is not okay. Most people with object crush interest hate the soft and hard crush watchers because, I mean, it's just inconceivable why someone would even want to watch videos like this, let alone for intimate pleasure. And because their interests sound so similar, because they have the word crush in them, a lot of them just get very frustrated with that. So disclaimer, please do not group object crush watchers with soft or hard crush watchers. They are not the same type of people. while it is true that some object crush people do graduate into soft crush videos, I would say that the overwhelming majority absolutely do not and would never even think to do so. They are as disgusted as you and I at the idea of those videos. But I digress. Soft crush videos is, imagine a woman standing over a beetle or a snail or sometimes a frog and then slamming her heel down into them with enough force to crush and nearly kill or pierce them completely. That is soft crush interest. One man who specifically held interest in watching bugs get squashed stated that it just reminds him of when he was young and his mom would kill insects.
What?
His mom would crush insects, and for some reason that used to make him feel safe, but now it's kind of hot, which that is a lot to unpack, and I don't think that I have the expertise in psychology to even begin to unravel that one in terms of the evolution of his sexual interest, going from his mom squishing bugs to watching powerful women in heels squishing bugs. One person who's really into this said that he finds lizards and frogs outside, puts super glue on their little bellies, and sticks them to the floor where he knows that his female teachers are going to accidentally step on them. And he would just wait to see them step on them because that to him was intimate sexual euphoria. To him, he said he enjoys these types of visuals because it's his ultimate dream to be killed by a woman by stomp. He wants to be stomped all over under the feet of a powerful woman. Some even argue, what's the difference if a cockroach is sensually squished to death by foot or flushed down the toilet because you found one in your house or sprayed with poison to kill them? Ultimately, you're killing a cockroach without much concern for if it was a quick death or not. Others argue that cockroaches are eaten alive on Fear Factor for entertainment, a likely very torturous, painful death, being crunched to death, chew by chew. But why? Why can't they be squished slowly by a high heel? Is it a problem only because you don't understand the sexual aspect to it? That is what some people argue. But it is still nothing compared to the dark world of hard crush videos. Hard crushing involves the crushing, squashing, torture, and killing of animals like bunnies, cats, dogs, birds, hamsters, turtles. Apparently, there are hard crush layers on the dark web. One famous one was called Sea Kitten Palace or Scream. Websites called Lethal Pressure and Russian Crush sites were dedicated to long-form content where every second of every uploaded video was just straight up animal torture and crushing. And probably the worst of them all on the dark web was a website called Cruel Onion Wiki. This was just a marketplace for videos of women seductively killing animals. There were videos of rabbits, cats, monkeys, even turtles being crushed on, sat on, suffocated, decapitated, mutilated, dismembered while alive. Some of the titles read Hamster Chest Crush, Butt Crush Goose and Rabbit. For some people, it matters what type of animal. Others, it matters what type of body part from the woman. Is it foot? Is it barefoot? Is it a sneaker? Knee-high boots, stiletto, red stiletto specifically is a popular one. Or maybe the crushing happens through another body part like chest, bottom. One investigator of these types of videos stated, probably the worst thing I've seen is animals burned alive or animals microwaved to death.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes they're boiled alive. There was one with a child burning a kitten with a blowtorch, laughing and staring at a child. What's even crazier is that sometimes the videos aren't even specifically on the dark web. They're just behind paywalls on the regular surface web. There was a website that is no longer running, otherwise I would never put this online, but it was called crushworld.net. This is where the Chinese woman was uploading her crush content with the kitten. It's a marketplace to order CDs of aggressive women in heels stomping little animals to death. Each CD or movie is about an hour and a half of pure torture. And you can get one delivered to your door for the low price of $3.27. One movie was said to contain a series of hard crush events, broken into segments. First 20 minutes would consist of placing frogs on a glass coffee table. One woman would hold the frogs in place while the high-heeled woman would crush them slowly with her stiletto, and you would allegedly get viewpoints from underneath the coffee table as well, because it's glass. First 20 minutes would include frogs being crushed. Second 20 minutes would include rabbits. The third 20 minutes, a kitten. And the last 20 minutes, and this is the kitten woman. So that kitten description that I told you about is only 20 minutes of a longer sequence of events. The last finale would be 2 little puppies, about 7 weeks old.
Oh my god. So she's not even killing the animal first.
No.
It's like torture.
One big incentive for these cat torturers is to make the torture as prolonged as possible. So they come up with ways, because you'll see later on, but they value the animals fighting back. And they don't fight back when they're dead. Hard crushing videos are actually illegal in the US since 2010, which you're like, yeah, well, of course they are, right? The US is actually one of the few countries that have specific laws against crushing videos. Most countries would just throw it under animal abuse and cruelty laws. But the US specifically has hard crushing videos.
That just sounds like it has been a problem
Yeah.
for them to make a law, right?
It's been a pretty big problem. And a lot of the videos are imported from overseas. So I think that's why the US specifically had to make that law, because even if you're not producing the videos, just having, possessing, and distributing those videos is illegal. Whereas I think that you could argue it's not technically animal abuse if you didn't abuse the animal and you just have the video of it.
I see.
I think that's kind of where it happened. Now, I did hear that there is a 4th category of crushing, which is even more extreme and involves the death of humans. So replace the fruit with an insect, replace the insect with a cat, then replace the cat with a human. That would be like the unspoken 4th tier of the crush interest. But with most things on the internet, it exists for a reason. There is a buyer, there's a watcher, or even a big group of them. And how, like, why would they want to see that? What are they getting out of it? Some psychologists believe that humiliation is a key reason for the interest in hard crush, which I don't know. I was thinking about omitting this whole part from this video because I want to explore and understand why people would be intrigued by something like this, but I guess I don't like this response. I'm sure that these psychologists know what they're talking about. But if you want to be humiliated, I'm not sure how watching a kitten being stomped to death is humiliating for you. But they argued that the viewer likely wants to be the kitten, that there is an unacceptable amount of pain and risk of them asking someone to do that to themselves. So through these videos, they try to imagine what it would be like.
What? So they're
Yeah.
saying they're putting themselves in the shoes of these animals?
Yes.
What?
I think they're talking specifically for the crushing. I think the just pure torture videos could be a little bit different. I don't know how I feel about it. They argue that they're internalizing the pain and anxiety of being that animal that's being tortured, which again, I don't know. Maybe it's true, but it almost feels like we're sympathizing or romanticizing the viewer of these types of videos. Other experts believe, which is where I also stand, is it's fine. Maybe it's a mixture of that and a whole different array of elements, but a big component is the viewer just gets off on animal pain and torture.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to state it, because I think it's natural human evolution to not want to see that.
Yeah.
One man in his 50s said he remembered watching a show when he was a kid. There was a woman who was barefoot, crushing live worms, like stepping on live worms, and he just found it very arousing. He said it was kind of this intermixing of his first encounter with something sexual, and it just kind of stuck, and that's just how it started. But he also states that he identifies with the worm, or whatever is being crushed by the cruel, cruel woman. In one video of a woman stepping on a live rooster, someone commented, "I wish I was that lucky rooster." The hard crush fanatic said society is hypocritical by being judgmental of the hard crush community because, and I quote, "If thousands of rats are poisoned in a building, to extinguish them, to get rid of them, to mass execute them, it's okay. But if a woman does dare step on one for sexual pleasure, it's not okay." Even in the West, there are places you can go and kill for sport and pleasure. Go hunting. So if a woman shoots a zebra for hunting, for sport, it's okay. But if she steps on a rabbit, it's not okay. That is their quote. That's not me saying that. But that's still just how he feels about his interests. Like on a larger scale, we have not enough data to back up or explain why some humans have the desire to watch living things get squished. One person commented, There's no better feeling than watching a bug or a snail or lizard or frog wiggling in pain at the heel of a woman. It gives me a kick to see the woman in total control. She can choose the destiny of that helpless victim. The slower the process, the better. The woman should first play with the victim, lightly, with her shoe. Then she should place her foot gently on the victim and then begin to press slowly until the victim is trapped under her. Then she should slowly start twisting her foot slowly, gradually increasing the speed and the motion until the victim is pulped. She should not stop. She should go on twisting, doing a total spin of 360, and at the end when she lifts her foot, there should be nothing but pulp at the bottom of her shoe. Then she should walk around town, running errands with the pulp still stuck on her shoe. That is the ultimate visual treat for me.
This also reminds me of the Japanese cat killer, the Boy A one we did. Like he will put snail and then salt all around and see them like wiggle and die slowly.
That's why I don't really like some of the, and I don't like it, and I'm not saying that it's not true. Just because I don't like something doesn't make it false, right? I guess I don't like a lot of the psychologist's explanation because it's, for even that case, I don't think that he was into humiliation. I don't think that he ever saw himself as a victim in any sort of the word. I think that he wanted to be powerful and the perpetrator. And this isn't something that's just happening in China. I just want to state that I know that with certain countries, especially ones where we have very strong political opinions about, it gets a little bit heated. But more recently in Houston, Texas, something very disturbing took place. Animal activists came across a video and it was clearly explicit. If they didn't wait a few seconds longer, they might have missed what they're looking for. They might have easily mistaken this video for, I don't know, a video that would go up on OnlyFans. There was this undercurrent of sexual tension in the video. The video starts with a woman wearing a green and purple Mardi Gras mask, you know, the ones with the feathers. She has black lingerie, heels, and she's saying very, very dirty things to the camera. Or maybe to the cameraman, because there's a camera, someone behind the camera for sure. But it's unclear. And she's speaking very explicitly about her body parts and promises that there's going to be harsh punishment. And warning, the camera pans to a cat and she starts dismembering the cat while it's alive.
Like with what? Knives?
Yeah, knives. She has videos of dogs where she uses a meat cleaver, but kitchen knives typically are her.
This is like dark web video that she's producing.
Yeah, but she wasn't, I don't know if she was posting them on the dark web. I think that they were just client requests. So she would be paid and she would not upload them onto the internet, but she would send them privately to people who have requested them. She and her cameraman, business partner, Brent Justice, were tracked down by animal activists and the Houston Police Department. But even then, her videographer, Brent, would later argue, why is this a crime? Because technically, he killed the dog in a kosher manner. So if it's kosher, why does it matter if the dog is eaten afterwards? Or if the dog is used for sexual pleasure afterwards? There shouldn't be a difference when the dog is already dead. Yeah, it made no sense, okay? That was his main defense, and he was his own attorney. He represented himself in trial. The judge literally told him when he tried to represent himself, you do have the ability to dig your own grave.
You do have the ability to dig your own grave.
Yes, basically, if you really want to represent yourself and dig your own grave, be my guest.
Wow.
And Ashley Richards just gave a really bizarre initial excuse that she was asked to kill a sick animal as a favor to put the animal out of their misery, I guess. She said that she just had to take enough alcohol to get through the act. But then later she says, oh yeah, all those videos, they were sacrifices. They were rituals. Rather than explicit content, that's what it was for. She also said that she felt sick from making those videos, but she really needed the money. And just like how Ashley Richards and Brent Justice were tracked down, the Chinese woman in the famous cat video was also hunted down. Authorities did not want to get involved in China. It was up to the netizens to figure out who this woman was. Now, there was a bit of a delay in tracking her down because there was a strange rumor that was going around that this video was actually created in Japan as a weird, sick advertisement for a Japanese shoe brand. But that turned out to just be a red herring, and netizens went back to tracking down that woman. They analyzed the background of the video, narrowed it down to the city of Hangzhou. Then they were able to gather clues from her account on crushworld.net, from her car registration. From there, they found her name, her address. They even found out that she bought those exact shoes from eBay a while back. They found her employer. She was working as a nurse.
No freaking way.
Her name, her occupation, everything was exposed, and her response to that, to the video, she made an incredibly brief apology stating that she had recently gone through a divorce and her life was spiraling. So she was just trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life. She was super impressionable because of how fragile her mental state was after the divorce. And someone told her this is a great way to make money. So she didn't question it. That was her excuse. And then nothing came out of it. This was in 2006 and the police did nothing about it. Netizens couldn't do more, and because I would say the internet wasn't as developed as it is now, the general public did not even really know about the video's existence. Or I guess even like me, they thought it was an urban legend. Just one of those internet stories. But then, 17 years later, in 2023, it happened again. But this time, everyone started hearing about it. Everyone was scared of it. Everyone was talking about it. The Blender Man video. Tweets, Reddit posts started trending. If you see a blurry thumbnail that looks like a blender, do not click the video. If you're watching a video and then it randomly cuts to a red blender in the room, do not continue watching the video. People were warning each other because the things in that video, they said they can't be unseen. Once you've seen it, there's no going back. One comment reads, I couldn't even get through 10 seconds before I vomited everywhere. I watched it and I can tell you that as someone who has seen quite a bit, it is absolutely horrible and it would make everyone completely sick. Curiosity kills the cat. Don't think that you can stomach it because you're tough. Seriously, you see a living animal like that, get tortured like that, you won't be able to sleep for days. These types of warnings did not make it to all the different corners of the internet, though. For example, the cat blender video warnings did not make it onto pregnancy family Facebook chat groups or Weibo pregnancy groups.
What?
It's just two different worlds. The cat blender video felt more like Twitter, young generation warning. It's not something that you would see if you spent most of your time browsing mainstream media websites and you joined a few chat groups dedicated to very mainstream interests. They just post cute videos of toddlers and babies on these Facebook chats for, I don't know, moms expecting mothers, or reviews on baby goods. Fifi was on one of those pregnancy group chats on Xiaohongshu, which is kind of a mixture of Pinterest and Instagram, and she sees this cute video of a dog. So she clicks on it, and she's a huge pet lover. She has a dog and a cat, so any video of a dog and a cat, she's clicking on it. She's also 8 weeks pregnant, so she's feeling a lot of things happening in her body. She just wants to watch something cute. She's laying there, feet kicked up, click, video starts playing. Little puppy is trying to bark for the first time. Fifi, without even knowing it, is smiling already. So close, one more try, come on puppy, you got it. The little puppy tries barking again, and then cut. The video cuts to rapid fire images of a dead cat in a blender. Fifi throws her phone and tries to get the disturbing images out of her head, but I mean, it's not something that time fixes. In a week, 2 weeks, she'd be doing dishes, the images would pop up. She would be doing online shopping for a crib, the images would pop up in her head. Then she would go to a doctor's appointment for a checkup for her baby, the images would pop up in her mind. Fifi would end up losing her baby. She was under a lot of stress and overwhelmed with negative emotions. It was putting a lot of tension on her body. Others stated that they did not get still images, but rather they got a video embedded inside of another video. The cat blender video. They'd be watching a video of a cute dog, and then all of a sudden, very sharply, the location of the video would change. No warning, no black screen, no transition, fading away, just cut to a kitchen. The room is dimly lit. The camera is focusing on a red blender. The pitcher portion of the blender where you put fruits and milk for a smoothie, see-through. The base of the blender is fire truck red. There's a knob at the center that controls the rotation of the blades and the speed of the blender blades. Warning, a cat is placed into the blender and slowly blended. But afterwards, it is, you can imagine what is inside the blender or what's left of the cat in the blender. But the cat is still not dead, and the unidentified man in the video, who only really shows like his hands and torso, places the cat in the microwave, and that is how the cat dies.
Oh my goodness.
The video went viral on Chinese social media, and then it went viral internationally, and netizens are busy avoiding the video, but also trying to hunt down the cat blender man. And of course, there are some people who wanted to watch the video because they thought they would enjoy it. I know this is ironic, but I'm not really great with my words, especially when it comes to describing what I want. I think I have a really clear picture in my head. Or even with food, I know what taste I'm looking for and I can almost taste it in my mouth, but to describe what that looks like in a tangible way, what seasoning I need to add, it's very hard. And I can actually be a very indecisive person, even when I'm shopping for clothes online. I'll go back and forth between that is so cute to do I really want to buy it though and spend money? Or would this even look good on me? Or is this a version of myself that I wish I was, but I would never actually wear this? It was to the point where I was so indecisive, I started becoming my own pet peeve. So I decided to try something different. I got a stylist from Stitch Fix. It was really daunting at first, but it ended up not just saving me time, but making me a lot more confident. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been upping my wardrobe in some of the other videos, maybe not so much here, but on my other channels. And my stylist sent over a couple of pieces that I would have never thought to try, and they ended up becoming my favorite wardrobe pieces. I was firm believer in color theory that red was not my color. You guys have been telling me red was my color. My stylist at Stitch Fix was like, try red. I ended up loving it, which I don't know what it is about my stylist at Stitch Fix and dresses, but every single dress that she sends me, I've kept because they're just so well fitted for not just what I like to see on my body, but just even my body type. So it makes me feel really confident. Here's what working with a Stitch Fix stylist looks like. All I have to do is describe my size, style, and budget preferences. Then I can make my orders whenever I want them. There's no subscription required. And my stylist sends me 5 handpicked pieces, plus outfit recommendations and pro styling tips. And I keep what I love and send back the rest. But honestly, I usually end up keeping everything. The best part about my stylist is that I don't have to be good at describing what I want. She knows what I need. It's like having an online shopping best friend. Stitch Fix makes the whole process so easy, saves so much time, and helps me feel actually good about all the clothes that I'm buying. And anything I don't like, I just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started today at stitchfix.com/rotten. That's stitchfix.com/rotten. stitchfix.com/rotten. A stack of printer paper that you can purchase at the store weighs about 5 pounds. About the weight of a calico kitten. Not too heavy, but how many can you fit in your backpack? 10, 15, 20? Paper, that is, not the cats. The girl slips into the stairwell and she's tightening her backpack straps because her bag is heavy. She doesn't want it bouncing around on her back when she's running up the stairs. So the first flight of stairs, she's running 2 steps at a time. And then she's like, okay, I can't be running like this because later I need to conserve my energy. Right now, nobody knows what I'm about to do. But once I'm done, I gotta run. I gotta put my legs into it. After what feels like a lifetime of stairs, she pushes open the door and the sun hits her. She steps out onto the rooftop of a busy city. It's windy. She's a few dozen floors up. All the neighboring skyscrapers, they're creating almost like this alleyway of wind, just rushing around like a tornado, which is perfect. She walks to the very edge of the rooftop, looks down. It's very high up. All the cars and the people, they look so small. Each person walking on the street looks as small as a little kitten, just trying to get by. And she's just towering over them. She swings her backpack onto the ledge, kneels down, unzips it, takes a chunk of flyers out. She stands back up and she, with a stack of papers in her hand, she brings her arm back and then flicks her elbow so that her arm is fully extended, kind of like how you throw a frisbee. She lets go and hundreds of flyers start raining down on the street. She bends down, grabs another stack and another and another, and she doesn't stop until her backpack is empty. She zips her bag back down, runs all the way back down. Perfect. Done. Meanwhile, on the street, cars are honking, the flyers are coming down like giant snowflakes. Some people are stopping to take pictures. Other people are stopping their cars in the middle of the street to angrily rip off these papers from their windshield. There's people running out of the office buildings nearby to see what the hell is going on. Some of them are trying to jump up and catch flyers as they're falling. Others are bending down to grab them off the street. What the hell? On the left side of the printer paper is a picture of a very famous food influencer, a food blogger. This better not be some sort of advertisement, okay? Because that would be annoying. But in big, bold letters on the side, it reads, "Have you seen me?" And with a description of the video, It is describing a live stream that the food influencer had. The live stream lasted for 3 days where he tortured, dismembered, and murdered an innocent cat with the same kitchen utensils that he uses in his food vlogs.
The live stream was 3 days, you say?
3 days.
He tortured a cat for 3 days?
I think that he did take breaks to sleep, but it lasted for 3 days. The influencer's name is Jack Spicy, and his Telegram chat room would be Jack Spicy Strips. He ran a cat gang torture group, and he's just one of the cat abusers, and this is just one of the Telegram chat rooms. There's an entire abuse syndicate that have their own chat rooms, just like the nth rooms. I keep referencing the nth rooms, and I have 2 episodes on that recently, but if you don't know, it's literally this case, but instead of cats, young girls tortured, being filmed for sale, for profit, for pleasure. And in order to get accepted into one of these cat groups, just like the nth rooms, you would either have to do one of 2 things. Either send in your own torture video of a cat, which is very reminiscent of nth rooms, or you answer a series of questions correctly within 30 seconds, and if you do not answer them all correctly, you would be banned. You would not be allowed admittance into the room. What are cat abusers called? That's one of the questions, 30 seconds. What are cat abusers called?
I have no idea.
Cat lovers. What are activists called? You're trying to get into the chat room. What do you think?
Cat haters.
Cat slaves. What do we call torture methods in the chat rooms?
Torture method.
The love method. Once you get in, you know everything, how the cat model works. There are a few ways that these cat torturers will get their hands on new cats to kill. One is to catch stray cats, but that is difficult. 2, kidnap outdoor cats. So they have owners, they just reside outdoors most of the time, or literally kidnap a cat from someone's house. Or 3, adopt a cat from a shelter, by far the easiest method. A lot of the cat abusers, ironically, actually spent quite a bit of money at these cat shelters because you have to pay every time you adopt a cat. They spent a lot of money adopting cats to kill. But adopted cats are not the highest in demand. Stray cats actually fetch the biggest penny. There's a whole menu for this, the cat menu of delicacies. Stray cats cost more than house cats because they fight back harder. This is what they say. They've been hardened by the harsh conditions outside and they don't die as quickly. They're a lot more vocal and they scratch and they will fight for their lives till the very last second.
Oh my God.
Certain breeds are also a bit more expensive because certain breeds have a little bit more of that, quote, fighting spirit. So the stubborn breeds like the calico cats, orange tabbies, Norwegian forest cats, they are known to be a lot more angry when they are hurt by humans. Pregnant cats are considered higher in demand, a delicacy on the menu. So once you choose that type of cat, then you choose how the cats are tortured. Death by strangulation, roasting, which means hanging over an open fire or a barbecue grill, dismemberment, bloodletting, which means slowly letting all the blood out, boiled to death in water in the microwave, blender, drowning, dismemberment, crushing, burning iron, live dissections. They do this thing where they insert a pump into the mouth and pump them full of air until their bellies explode. If you have an idea that's not listed, don't worry, they take custom orders for bespoke videos. Jack Spicy, the food influencer, actually ran one of the bigger of these cat torture rings. He built a whole name for himself on Telegram because of his initial cow cat video. That's what they call it. Cow cats are otherwise known as moo cats. They are cats that look like cows. Not really, but they predominantly have white hair and these little black spots on their bodies. Typically their ears are black and the black comes down to cover their eyes. So they're the cats that are known to have the Batman mask.
Okay.
Jack Spicy captured a stray cow cat and, quote, interrogated and tortured it for 3 days. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to go further. It's just all of the things I've listed, but for 3 days straight. And a lot of the tools that he used, knives, skewers, they were used in his cooking videos for his food vlogs.
When you say he's a food vlogger, like is he like a full-time YouTuber or?
He is mainly on Chinese social media. It does seem like that he was relatively full-time.
Does he have a big following?
Yeah, he has at least 500,000 on on a single platform. not even like collectively. So he was pretty popular, and he looks genuinely like a nice guy. Like I did watch his videos. I don't get a creepy vibe. And this is in hindsight. I'm trying to look for creepy things. You know how people are always like, you could just see the crazy in his eyes. I couldn't see anything. He just looks so normal. He looks honestly a little nerdy, if anything.
But that's even more scary because he can mask so well.
Like, okay, with the nth rooms, I think visually, Paksa and God, I think visually they're just not what you expect in terms of age group and maybe even stature. But in terms of look-wise, I would say they look more evil than this guy. Just their eyes and their face.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it's the pictures we've seen of them, but this guy genuinely looks like a dad.
设起来，你的脑海里面自动浮现出问华2个字，翻译一下，为牛片。
He posted the videos to these chat rooms of him torturing these animals. And just in case there were animal activists or people who were against the video in his room, he messaged, Jesus Christ doesn't care about cats. Besides, the cat didn't even scream while he died. He was just gasping. Stupid cat. He was laughing at the cat for accepting its fate of death. But activists who watched the video said, actually, the cow cat may not have been able to vocalize anything at that point due to the injuries, but the cat held a fighting posture the entire time until the very last breath. And I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse. I think worse. Once you get access to the chat rooms, most of them have you pay per video. And unlike the nth rooms, where they're trying to use cryptocurrency to prevent being tracked by the authorities, a lot of these cat torture rooms do not care. They will just ask you to WeChat QR to pay them or Alipay them. That's like asking someone to PayPal you for a snuff film. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App me for a snuff film. What's a bit crazier and I think harder to digest is a lot of these people, they didn't even do it for the money. Not that that would make it okay, but for some reason, I think a lot of humans can comprehend that motive a little bit better. Like the nth rooms, Paksa did a lot of things for money, and I think it's an easier motivation to understand, not relate, not feel sympathy for.
Paksa is a doctor.
The doctor. But God, he did it for the pure pleasure of the torture. Like just watching the girls in pain. That's what he did it for. And I think that was a lot scarier for people to wrap their heads around.
Yeah.
Jack Spicy's favorite thing to do was take his torture videos, spend the time and energy to find normal cute videos of dogs or babies doing something adorable and embed that video in the middle, literally edit it in, and then post those onto social media to try to get it past the algorithms so that when you see a cute little thumbnail of a cute animal or a baby, you click on it and then boom, there's a cat being decapitated. He even encouraged members of the group chat to do the same. He said, if you're ever pissed off at the world, attack people. Buy some anonymous accounts and spiritually attack those cat slaves, cat activists, cat lovers by privately messaging them these types of videos. Make them watch it. Make it look like a cute cat video. And if you're really angry, target pregnant people, depressed people, and minors. People who are going to spiral after watching a cat torture video. Jack Spicy primarily had a thing for targeting pregnant people with these types of videos. He really got off on infiltrating pregnancy communities on Weibo and posting these types of videos, which makes it all that more horrifying when you find out that he himself is a dad. His wife is a nurse who just recently gave birth to a baby girl, who just recently was pregnant. Humans naturally have a soft spot for cute animals. I think it's why it's so scary to meet someone who doesn't. I mean, yeah, okay, you can have a disliking for animals or find them too troublesome to take care of, but that's one thing. To find them pleasurable to torture, it feels like it goes against the hardwiring of human brains. Usually when we see a cute animal, our brains release a minuscule blast of dopamine, which is the same reward system in our brains that is also activated by the likes of cocaine. It's like a tiny, minuscule blast of cocaine. Okay, not really at all, but sometimes it can feel like it. We want to see more of it. We want to continue that reward system. Actually, we can go a step further. If you pet a cute animal, you might actually be lowering the stress chemical cortisol inside of your body. We've evolved to feel that way because animals, especially young ones, they behave very similarly to human infants. They trigger the same reaction in adult humans that we have when we see a helpless little baby. And this evolution of this trigger is really, really fascinating. It can actually present itself in kids that are like 3 years old. You don't even have to be an adult to feel this type of response.
When a 3-year-old sees a little kitten, they can also trigger this emotion in their brain.
Yes.
Wow.
It comes with large, soft eyes. So when the eyes are soft, a lot of pets don't have hard eyes because they can't really control it like that. Hard eyes meaning you're kind of pressing, putting pressure, squinting. They're soft. They're relaxed. They're large. Small body with bigger heads. That's why you'll notice that a lot of the dogs that have been consistently breeded over time by humans, we've breeded them to have larger heads.
Because it's cuter.
Yes. Those traits naturally reward people's brains to make them want to approach, care, and protect that baby or that soft little animal. But it also makes you naturally want to crush it.
What?
It's called cuteness aggression. So when you feel like a dog is so cute, you want to bite its tummy, or a puppy is so adorable, you want to squeeze it till it pops, it's because your brain is likely overwhelmed from the cuteness and cannot handle the reward regions that are being stimulated. So suddenly, your brain is trying to recruit negative opposing feelings to try and calm itself down. Again, this is suspected perhaps due to evolution. If you're too overwhelmed by a baby's cuteness, you're not going to be able to care for it properly. So you need to rein it back in. Your brain is trying to find that perfect balance of like, this baby is so cute, I want to take care of this baby, but this baby is not too cute where I need to lay down because I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. To sum it up, it's been suggested that humans have evolved to associate babies and baby-like features or creatures with cuteness, and that cuteness makes us want to take care of them by releasing specific chemicals that feel rewarding in our brain. But if something is too cute, we become so overwhelmed that it'll literally incapacitate us and we cannot care for it anymore. So our brains flood ourselves with negative thoughts of punching something because it's so cute. But if you're a normal human being, you're not going to punch your dog. You're just going to say, "You're so cute, I just want to squeeze you until you pop." That's all you're going to do. And then you're going to go on your phone and you're going to watch Hello Street Cat. There is an app in China called Hello Street Cat. It's a nonprofit set up by a number of stray cat feeders all around the major cities of China. It's like TV-shaped boxes without the TV that are placed around the major cities. There's cat food inside. A stray cat will walk in, and the box has cameras and sensors everywhere. The box will actually scan the cat, create a file based on the cat if it's their first time entering, and the cat will receive food. After a while, they'll monitor the cats and see which ones need to be neutered or sprayed, and then release them back into the wild. Which, side note, that whole process is called TNR, which is trap, neuter, release. And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think I know enough to have an opinion. I think there's opposing sides to a process like that. So this is not me agreeing and saying TNR is the best.
Wait, so, okay, to get it clear, there is a box that's like, I imagine like a bus station for cats. Like,
yes.
Like cats can come here, get some food, and then there's a camera monitoring how they are doing, and then they will leave.
Yes, they will monitor the cats, and if they think that the cat needs to be neutered or spayed or needs medical attention, they will try to trap the cat to get it that medical attention. Now, once they trap some of these stray cats, the best choice would to have that cat be adopted. But they do realize that this is what they said, a lot of street cats are not adoptable by most families because they do not behave domesticated, which is what I guess a lot of families are looking for. So sometimes they will release the cat back into the wild because they just don't have the resources as of right now to care for that cat. But they will try to provide as much medical attention as possible when necessary. Now, again, I don't know if you agree with this process, but I would say better than not feeding a stray cat, right? Like, we can't take in all the cats. We wish we could, but I'd rather at least feed a few cats. So again, I don't know. But the whole point of Hello Street Cat is to just help as much as they can with the resources they have. So they focus on feeding. There are live streams set up so you can see the inside of these feeding boxes. And every time that you donate through the app, fresh kibble will rush down into the bowl and the cat of your choosing will likely have a blast. There's always kibble. They call it Mount Kibble, like mountain kibble. Yeah, there's always Mount Kibble but sometimes it's stale. So if you really like a cat that walks in, you get them fresh kibble and it lands on top of the stale kibble and they get to enjoy a fresh meal. There's like a whole Wikipedia page dedicated to all the famous stray cats on Hello Street Cat. There are ones that are basically famous. They all have names and lore. There's the gluttonous beast, Mr. Fresh, Mr. Exclamation Mark, Mr. Sweet Pea, Brother Calm, the Titans, which includes the mother and her kittens, Mr. Snack, the Snack Children, Mr. Piss, Mr. One, Mrs. Kirby, who for some reason has irreconcilable differences and beef with the gluttonous beast. There's also Mr. Puke. Some of them are really famous. The gluttonous beast, that stray cat, has his own Wikipedia page. He's an orange tabby cat, and his nicknames include AKA Mr. Glutton, Mr. Speed, the Gluttony, the Beast, the Goat, Sir Gluttony the Third. He got his name from Mrs. Kirby came in and she puked up some of the kibble that she ate, and she left. He walked into the feeder.
He ate it?
He was munching on her throw up for approximately 6 minutes before he left. He returned soon after to eat more from the towering Mount Kibble, the cat food, the kibble. He snacked for another approximately 15 minutes before he quickly fled the scene. More about the gluttonous beast. Occupation, eating for extended periods of time, destroying kibble, all-time leading scorer in the NBA history, and ranks 4th in career assists and number 23 on the LA Lakers. Personality, hungry, very hungry. Relations, hates Mrs. Kirby. Then you have Mr. Fresh, aka Fresh Brother, Sus Cat, Side-Eye Cat, Mr. Poop, or Mr. Evil are his nicknames. He's famous. There's a camera right where the cats eat. So it's right there. They're eating right in front of the camera, and it has a fisheye lens that distorts them so it looks even cuter. And Mr. Fresh, he walks in, there's always kibble, right? But he will side-eye it until fresh kibble is released. He'll just sit there. Sometimes he'll paw at the stale kibble and just wait until fresh kibble is released.
Until somebody donates.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he just side-eyes the camera. That's why he's called Mr. Fresh, because he has a strong affinity for fresh kibble. The cat killers put a bounty on Mr. Fresh. They said the bounty is catch, torture, kill Mr. Fresh, the famous street cat.
This is on the app?
Telegram. Thankfully, nobody was able to get to Mr. Fresh. He actually ends up getting adopted. But these are the types of people we're dealing with. Now, the investigation into Jack Spicy also leads to revealing the identity of the real cat blender man. It was not Jack Spicy. A lot of Western media sources actually thought Jack Spicy, the food blogger, was cat blender man. It's not. It's a man named Wang Chaoyi. He goes by the username Cat Addiction Therapist on Telegram. He's suspected of creating animal snuff films, animal torture kill videos over the course of a decade. He's founded many websites used by animal snuff netizens. He personally has over 10,000 films that he's produced. His estimated revenue in total from killing animals is close to $700,000. He's also suspected of stealing pets from Chinese citizens that he does go on to kill. Warning, it's about to get very graphic. According to one undercover animal activist, they were able to get some insight on some of the torture tactics used by the blender man, Wang. He would cut 12 live kittens in half in one video. At the waist, he would dissect pregnant cats while they were still alive and force feed the mother cat all of her baby kittens. He would cut open cats and then pour sulfuric acid into their bodies while they were still alive. And he has been doing this for over a decade. It's estimated that he has taken the lives of at least tens of thousands of cats. And just like Jack Spicy, he has a respectable job. He works for a bank and he has a wife and daughter. But in the cat torture chat rooms, he's like God. He's like God of cat torture rings. People praise him for his high quality content and they want to be just like him. Most of his followers and people that he recruits to making more of these cat killing videos like a cat killing empire pyramid scheme are teenagers. It's actually terrifying. In just 2 months, there were 12 reported cases of students in the same town, high schoolers, killing animals for the purpose of torture. That's just in one town. So with that, finally, the authorities in China get involved. Wang is detained for 15 days. 1-5. And then he's let out after 2 weeks. His charge? Damaging a car window in the process of trying to steal a cat.
What?
He would not be charged for the beheading, torturing, and blending cats alive. Why? Because there are no animal abuse laws in China, making everything he did perfectly legal.
What do you mean?
So there are laws in China that protect specific wildlife.
Yeah, I know those. And those are very serious. Like you can be sentenced to life sometimes.
But only specific wildlife animals.
So any other animals, there's no laws?
There's no law. There's no
That's
animal abuse
crazy.
law. Yeah. Naomi's phone lights up. This is Naomi's 13th delivery notification. And she just feels a chill. Because it doesn't make sense. She calls the delivery company to confirm, and sure enough, it's her name, it's her address, it's her order, except she didn't order anything. They're like, when are you going to pick up the other 12 packages in addition to this one? She's like, let me call you back. 13 strange deliveries, 13 strange packages in the past 2 weeks. She hasn't picked up a single one of them because the risk is way too high. She probably already knows what's in there. I mean, the DMs told her already. It's not like they were even trying to hide it at this point. They DM'd her, expect severed cat heads, a bloody cat paw, cat organs, and tissues to show up at your house. The cat crushers were after her. Naomi is a Weibo blogger with 300,000 followers. She thought, I don't have the craziest reach. I don't have a lot of people watching me, but this cat story is crazy. Maybe if I just write a single story, and even if just a few people can learn what's truly going on out there, maybe we can do something. Click publish, and instantly comments start flooding in. Naomi, is this your address? Naomi's a cat slave, everyone. Well, cat slave, you want something cute in the mail? I'm dedicating my next cat live stream to Naomi. Ding. Another DM. A nude photo of her, but it's not her. Someone photoshopped a picture of a naked woman and her head together, but it looks real enough. And all for what? Because she said you shouldn't torture cats for 3 days just so you could kill them? And you shouldn't live stream it to viewers and encourage them to do the same? Is really what she said in her blog post that controversial? After Naomi went live with her blog post, her DM started flooding in with people wanting to share more information about the cat abusers. Cat abusers themselves wanting to share every single specific, quote, delicious detail about their videos to her and why they did it. Naomi, I can say this nicely, right? You and I are the same kind. Cats are not one of us. They're not. It's meaningless for you to speak up for them. At the end of the day, cats are despicable creatures. You feed them, but once they're full, they just walk away with no sense of gratitude. Their mere existence on this world is a sin. Naomi tried to talk to them to really understand the mind of a cat abuser. And at times, she found one of them, I wouldn't say pleasant to talk to, but at one point she thought that he was more complicated, a bit more complex, almost like there was something inside of him that was broken that she could try and speak to maybe get him to stop, maybe change him. He reached out to her about her previous blog post about how she was depressed. And he wanted to talk about it. And she thought maybe he relates to that, and maybe that's not excuse, but maybe that's why he does what he does. But then the next message she opened up was a video of a bloodied, tortured, mutilated cat with a message, I hope you have depressed dreams of adorable cats with tears in their eyes. There was a Chinese Reddit post that went up and it reads, what should I do if my girlfriend likes to abuse cats? Most comments were thankfully on the right side of sanity. They were like, yeah, you need to leave your girlfriend and maybe, I don't know, get her admitted into a mental health facility. But one comment responds to the OP. Your girlfriend is clearly venting and she is under a lot of pressure from school, you said. Let your girlfriend do what she needs to do. Who cares what other people think? And why do you even care about at all what the cats think? Don't be posting about your relationship on forums like this. Don't be standing on some weird moral high ground so you can teach her. Just comfort her. Just help her deal with her stress and all that pressure. I mean, hurt people will hurt more if they have to restrain themselves. As long as she's not affecting other people, it's okay. That response was written by the Shanghai tech cat killer.
The girl from the...
from the beginning of the story. The one with the black hair, the one that was on the CCTV camera.
Yeah.
She...
The 7 cat killer.
Yes. After news broke that Peng Wangdi was exposed for being Shanghai Tech's university cat killer, she requested a 1-year leave from school and people started digging into all of her past stuff. This is an account that she had that she responded to someone being like, what do I do if my girlfriend likes to hurt cats? And she's like, let her be. And it's crazy. She took a 1-year suspension from school. The school okayed it. She was not expelled. Nothing happened to her. She was not arrested. She actually has no remorse. She attended a student meeting that was held to talk about what she did. And she went just to listen to the students crying about the cats, calling her all sorts of names. And she just sat there listening. No remorse, no emotions, nothing. Apparently, she's been killing cats for years before she's been caught. Back in 2020, she posted a question on a Chinese forum that said, can potassium cyanide be used in medicine? Why do doctors in TV shows always have a bottle of it in their cabinet?
Cyanide?
And all the cats on the university campus were found to be poisoned.
Wow.
Everyone on campus was terrified at the idea of her returning back because technically she can't be arrested because she didn't do anything illegal. And for some reason, the school won't expel her. Students wrote online, isn't this an early symptom of a deranged killer? Her current cat abuse is only because she can only abuse cats right now. When she can no longer get pleasure from abusing cats, everyone she comes across, gets in contact with, could be her next potential victim. And the crazy part is, in the world of the cat torture rings, this girl from Shanghai Tech isn't even one of the worst. In the end, both Jack Spicy and Wang Wood, the Blender Man, would issue apologies. Jack Spicy wrote on Weibo, the Twitter of China, I'm Jack Spicy. For my actions of abusing cats, filming it, and splicing together footage of killing cats to cute videos online and then sharing it to social media groups, I feel ashamed and remorseful and apologetic. After the video spread online, public security and cyber authorities have severely criticized and educated me. They have initiated an accountability investigation, and I sincerely accept the supervision, condemnation from netizens, and criticism and education from society. In the future, I will learn this lesson, abide by ethics, and improve my own character, and cherish animals' lives as much as I cherish my own. Please give me another chance. His apology was viewed close to 40 million times, and the cat killers were gaining attention. And I guess the hope would be that the cat killers would be socially shamed into never stepping foot out of their house again, that they would lose their job, they would disappear off the internet and live in shame the rest of their filthy, pathetic lives, was the hope. But that's not what happened. The cat killers came back with a vengeance. Each time one of their own was investigated or detained or exposed to the public, it seems like they genuinely thought, let's make the activists feel like nothing they do will ever put a dent on our torture. Nothing they ever do will save anybody. So either let us be or die by your own hands because we're going to drive you crazy. They genuinely wanted to wreak havoc on everyone. Now, because animal abuse is not illegal in China, a lot of the biggest celebrities came out to condemn animal abuse and violence. The idea being, because there might be a lot of young people watching these videos thinking that it's okay or wanting to do something similar, maybe the celebrities' reach and influence, the younger generations will take a step back and realize, maybe I don't want to do that. So some of the top celebrities in China released statements condemning the cat killers, and in retaliation, they were doxed by the cat torture rings in the chat rooms. Some of their phone numbers, ID cards, social security information were leaked in the chat rooms.
So I see Zhang Xinyu, Zhao Lusi, Wang Yibo, Xiao Zhan, Jing Xin, Jiang Yunshen. Jeez, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're like the A-list celebrities.
Lu Han, Wang Yuan. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Around the same time, a post starts going viral on Chinese social media from one of the cat torturers. This is not an apology, but he issues a threat. After his identity was exposed, there were conversations that the university that he attended was going to suspend him. He wrote online, I'm telling you, cat slaves, you want me to be in the hot seat? Let's see what you can do to me. Let's see if you guys are my family that pays our school leaders. Let's see which one wins. If Ocean University doesn't accept me, I will give you 1,000 cats to make up for it. I'm going to kill 1,000 cats. So you'll see what the death penalty means. There's no animal cruelty law in the country and the police can't do anything to me. So what can you cat slaves do to me? If you make me have a bad life, I will end up getting a few cat slaves killed too. No one should be able to live then. His name is Fan Qingyuan.
Is that not like
alarming? It's like a threat on human life, which is illegal, I'm imagining. He is a math major at Shandong University of Technology, or he was, and it's stated that within 2 months, he killed 80 cats for videos. 40 cats a month, 10 cats a week, more than 1 cat a day. Yeah. And even after all of that was exposed, some netizens actually got really mad at the activist. They said, is it really worth it for the cat activist to ruin a future for a promising college student at a good school over a few cats?
No way.
Another reads, for the sake of ecological balance, wild cats should not even be alive. Stray cats are a nuisance. Another one just stated, don't you know how cruel cats are when they bite people? Yeah, well, maybe don't be mean to them and there's no reason for cats to bite you.
I mean, these people could very much just be a part of the
gang.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, so the cat killers, they're mad, they're out for blood, they're doxing high-profile celebrities, they're threatening universities, but the main annoyance that they have are the activists. The activists are like the nth room. They've infiltrated their chat rooms, they have way too many people and accounts in their chat rooms to filter out which ones are the real watchers, which ones are there to watch frame by frame for geographical clues, run voice recognition tests, cross-reference clothing and features of their hands to expose them publicly to the world. Even if they don't get arrested, they don't want their face out there associated with this. They don't know who's who, and that is very frustrating for them. So they decide, let's play a game. Let's drive all the activists so crazy, so depressed that they leave the chat rooms. Maybe they leave the life. You want to save a cat? Let's do it. Starting with Bucky. Bucky is a beautiful Russian blue kitten. He's got soft, plush gray hair, so soft that his coat is almost shimmering like gray suede. Russian blue kittens are usually on the slightly slimmer side, very elegant, lanky, huge yellow eyes. He was adopted from the shelter. His previous owner absolutely adored him, but she just couldn't care for him the best that she wanted. So really, it was hard for her to bring him into the shelter, but she brought his little bed and begged them to find him a good home. He was adopted by a cat killer. May 20th, 2023, a picture of Bucky next to a large kitchen knife was posted to the Jack Spicy Strips group chat on Telegram. Bucky had been adopted. Ding! A message reads, wire $100 to this address within 24 hours if not this cat Bucky, tortured and killed. The activists received the message loud and clear. But on one hand, if they pay the money, it's just $100. Okay, $100 is a lot of money, yes, but I would pay $100 in a heartbeat to save a cat right now. It's just $100. Do whatever it takes to save the cat. Ask your mom for money, ask your brother for money, get $100. It's an easy choice. But on the other hand, these are not people with integrity. Who's to say that they won't pay the money and the cat will still die? And in that case, all they did was fund a cat killer so that they have more resources to kill more cats.
Yeah.
It's unclear if the ransom demands were met. It likely was met because I'm imagining that at least one of the activists did wire money. But the very next day, May 21st, 2023, a new video pops up in the group chat and Bucky is killed. Sometimes the cat killers would even, as a sick joke, make the cat activists wire money to a real legitimate charity that helps stray cats. The idea being, it's not even about the money. You could donate all the money in the world and we'll still be torturing cats. There's nothing you can do. You think that donating is going to help? Okay, I'm still going to kill a cat. In one live stream, a cat lover lovingly named a little kitten Little Bean Sprout, dedicated for the cat activist. They skinned the kitten alive and then they renamed it Little Pink Bean Sprout as a joke. In another live stream, it was dubbed 160 Needles. The live stream lasted 3 hours and you can guess what happened. 160 needles were used to torture a kitten. Commentators wrote in the message groups, haha, acupuncture for cats. They did this knowing that the activists were watching, and they did this in hopes that the activists would give up, be hit with debilitating depression where they cannot function anymore. They can't even get out of bed. Everything that they went through to track down a few of the cat killers, all the videos that they had to watch to get there, it did nothing. That's the message that they wanted to send. They wanted to break the activists, but they didn't. I would say it's done the opposite. It is fueling their fire. And don't get me wrong, I think we can all be animal activists in some sort of small capacity. We can tell our friends about this. We can share resources, draw attention to it. But these people directly going after these groups, that is a level of admiration I can't even begin to describe that I have for them. One stated that they have to watch the videos frame by frame. So they don't watch it in moving parts because that's so hard for them. They watch it frame by frame like their photos, and they don't focus on the center, what is the focal point. They just try to focus on the perimeter of the video to see if there's any clues in the video itself. They said it's a lot easier than watching the action, better emotionally. Then, After getting all the visual clues, shoe, clothing, a piece of mail in the background, anything. Once she's done doing that, she has to listen to the audio separately because there's a lot of clues in the audio. She said the audio is actually worse. One law enforcement officer said that they had to watch the videos, and this is in America. She said, the sounds, the suffering, they're burned into my mind and my heart for a lifetime. And what's crazy is, not just in China, but even in the US, most of the time, it's animal activists that are investigating animal crushers or animal torturers in their free time, volunteer time. Even though the US has laws against animal abuse, unlike China, if you just show a cop a video of an animal getting crushed, they're gonna maybe look into it until they have a homicide case or an assault case come up. Then they're gonna stop. Activists have come to realize the only way that they can at least attempt to put these people behind bars, at least in the States, is to investigate themselves, find the perpetrator, hand them over to the authorities on a silver platter, if you will. And even though the activists are going through all of this, they get pushback from netizens. There are a group of people that think that these videos are not that big of a deal. Even when the news of the cat blender video came out, some netizens, obviously a very small percentage, they thought this is just an argument between extreme cat lovers and extreme cat haters. And most of the public are neutral to cats. Someone said that throwing a cat in a blender is just an extreme cat hater's way of expressing themselves. Yeah, for the man who was smeared with feces on his face, the cat killer, some people said it's actually the cat activists who are evil and they need to be punished because there is no law that man is breaking. But these 6 people who live streamed assaulting him, they're breaking assault laws. What kind of example are they setting by breaking laws?
That's freaking crazy.
Others argued that killing a cat is really no different from killing a cow or a pig to be eaten, which, side note, if you slaughter animals the humane, or as humane as you can get, I don't want to say it's humane, but as humanely as possible for consumption, it's hopeful that they will not feel torture in the death process. These cats are tortured to death for days. For some reason, the fact that people think that way only makes these activists a lot more passionate to put an end to all of this. There is a reason that the FBI now tracks animal abuse in their databases. They track them like homicides and aggravated assaults. The executive director of the National Sheriff's Association said, if somebody is harming an animal, there's a good chance they're also hurting a human. If we see patterns of animal abuse, the odds are something else is going on. Essentially, they have concerns that animal abuse could be linked to eventually committing crimes against humans, which is a topic we talk a bit more extensively in serial killer cases. An alarming majority of serial killers have abused animals before they started killing humans. Even Ashley Richards, the Houston woman that was arrested, authorities found messages where she was talking to a client who requested a custom video. They asked her if she would ever be interested in crushing a human to death like she did with the animals. We don't know her exact response, but the authorities have described it as being favorable and not adverse. They said, Ashley engaged in online chats with another individual about torturing and killing a human being. It appears she will do anything for either the thrill or the right price, or a combination of both. There are loose studies that connect animal abuse to violence as well, but one activist said, problem is, it's not normal to want to burn a cat alive. No normal person would ever do anything like that. These people who do this are not normal. One teenager who posted a torture video of cats on Telegram was asked, why are you doing this? Why are you torturing cats? He responded, well, I really want to torture babies, but those are harder to get your hands on. As of right now, with China's current laws, abusing and killing wild animals protected by the state is punishable, but the abuse and killing of other animals, different species, is very difficult to punish. But hopefully that is something that can be changed. If you want to help stop the spread of animal abuse videos, I will link felineguardians.org in the description. But again, just to warn you, some pages on their website have blurred out or completely clear stills and pictures of the crimes that have been committed. It is on there. It is graphic. We are not affiliated with them. I have not worked with them personally, but they do have one-click emails for Chinese legislators, as well as posters, updates on the cats, the bounties, and where the cat abusers are now. Updates on the current whereabouts. I believe Jack Spicy is allegedly in the US, in Brooklyn. What? There is another one who is in the state of Georgia. So there's 2 that have fled to the US. The students at Shanghai Tech University, they left out flowers and cat toys for the cats that were killed on campus. And in an effort to make people genuinely care for the cats, because They were stray cats, so you don't have owners talking for them and telling people about what their cat was like and what kind of food they liked and how much they slept and if they liked the sun or not. So the students came together and tried to create these posters with all the cats and the names that the students had given them and almost like senior yearbook quotes from them so that they could try and get netizens all over the internet to care about these cats. And one reads under a cat, "So sleepy, I'm gonna rest first. Let's play again soon. Make sure to bring more food." Another one reads, "Are you looking for me? I'm no longer here, but you should take care of yourself." And another one says, "I'm gonna get some sleep. Don't wake me up or else I'm gonna fight you." And one says, "I know I'm pretty cute, but I'm gonna go chase some stars now, so don't worry about me." And one last one reads, "The world outside is so fun. I think I'm lost out here. But don't worry, guys. I will take care of myself and return when I get tired." And that is the story of what is going on with the cats right now. I'm so angry. I feel like this whole episode I was shaking with anger. So if you hear my voice wavering, if you see me sighing or rolling my eyes, I was trying to rein it in, but yeah, I was just really angry. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on this? Have you come across any of these videos? And let me know. Please stay safe and go hug your pets. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for the next episode. Bye.